welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a fun review on a new brow product that Maybelline has recently launched. This is Maybelline's Express Brow 2-in-1 pencil and powder product. I'm excited because I recently tried out a similar product from Benefit Cosmetics that's like almost double the price. So I think this is exciting because it's always nice when you find good drugstore products that are very similar to high end. So nonetheless, if you want to hear my thoughts and see a demo, then just keep on watching. All right, let's dive right into this review. So as mentioned in the intro, this is a new product from Maybelline, a 2-in-1 brow pencil and powder. And it's fun because I actually have used a product similar to this pretty recently from Benefit and was kind of like, oh, this is super interesting. I do have a reel on that product over on my Instagram, so you can check that out. I'll put it here. But today we're chatting about the one from Maybelline, so a drugstore version, which is awesome. So there are 4 shades in this collection. I have 2 out of the 4. I have soft brown and medium brown to share. There is one lighter and one darker to those, so blonde and then deep brown are the 2 on the ends. But I, even though I have dark hair, really like to go with like more of the middle of the spectrum. So a soft brown or a medium brown are usually where I will go for my brows because I don't like my brows to look too harsh. My brows are naturally pretty full. There are some sparse areas within them, and obviously doing my brows makes me feel like my whole makeup look really does look a lot more, one, dramatic and more complete, and my brows just look better. But I do have pretty full brows, so I don't like to go in with a product that's too dark because I don't want them to look like Sharpie brows, but I also don't want to go in too light because then it won't match the color of the hair. So it's kind of that walking that fine line. So usually medium brown is where I go, but sometimes I do go with soft brown depending on the company. So these are the shades here. So this is medium brown here, this is the pencil, and then this very fine line here is the powder, and then this is soft brown, pencil, powder. Honestly, they are so similar. I feel like the medium brown has a tint more warmth to it. I think I'm gonna go in with soft brown. Packaging wise, this is what it looks like. So on the one end, you have the pencil, which has an angled but thicker type of pencil. And then on the other is also a twist. It has a sponge teardrop. There you go. It has a teardrop sponge, which has the eyeshadow product within it. And I think when you pump it, you get more. Kind of cool. The only negative, no spoolie, which always just irks me. It makes me so mad. I have other brow products here from Maybelline. I'll just use the end of this spoolie because for me, I need a spoolie to do my brows. My brows have a life of its own. They always go in all different ways and shapes and, you know, all that jazz. So I need to brush them out. I also like to use a spoolie to blend as I go. So to ensure that, you know, a pencil or the powder is kind of blending into the hairs of my brows, I like to use a spoolie as I go. So let's just do this. And you know, I've mentioned this before in brow reviews, like I feel like sometimes it's not worth it for me to review brow products because you can barely see them on my brows. But you know, a lot of you have commented that you still like them. You might be someone who also has similar brows to me. They are full but a little bit sparse in areas, so you want to find a product that's quick and easy. So I get it. So I still continue to do them, so I hope you like it. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to start with the pencil side. What I like to do typically is just mimicking the brow hairs that I have and just following the formation. So kind of drawing the outer edge of my brow just really lightly, and like when I go, it might look like I'm going a long way, but I'm really doing short strokes. And that's just to try I just went to flip it to use a spoolie. That is to try and mimic the shape and size of my actual natural hairs. So far, this is really easy to use. I need to keep a spoolie in my hand. Like, my brow hairs are so untamed that I need to continuously like put them back where I like them before I set them. Here at the beginning of my brow, and I like to just kind of go in upward motion. Again, following those brow hairs. This is where I have the most sparseness, I find. And then I'm gonna go in the tail area and just slightly extend it. You know, when we are all 12, 13, 14 years old and you waxed off our eyebrows, my tails never grew back. The rest grew back, but the tails just never reappeared. This is what the brow is looking like with just that pencil in it, and I actually really love it. I could stop here and be totally content. So as you can see, just side by side, this brow doesn't look bad whatsoever. I'm not saying that, but this one definitely looks a lot more put together. You can already see just the sparseness, a little bit more clean, crisp, and then of course, a little bit more length. So it just kind of completes, like this eye look looks a lot more complete. I would honestly stop here on a regular basis. I love using pencils. They're probably my favorite. I go through cycles, honestly, but right now, like the past several months, pencils have been my favorite for brows. So I would honestly stop here. I really like the way that it looks. I would set and then be done. But for the purposes of this video, let's try out the powder. I've already kind of pushed it in a few times. Seems like there's powder ready to go out. So I'm just gonna softly kind of go in the center where the least amount of product that I put with the pencil basically, and just kind of fluff these brows out a bit. I'm not putting a lot of pressure down, so very little product is gonna come out, but just kind of going in where I see any more further gaps. Continuously using a spoolie to blend. Okay, so far this is what the brow is looking like. Very put together, complete, looks full and fluffy, and really the way that I like my brows on an everyday basis. I will say that I think the pencil is awesome, like 10 on 10, super creamy, easy to use. I love that it's angled as well because you can really mimic the brow hairs, and it's not too skinny either, so it kind of takes away so much of the effort that you're putting in. A little bit of pressure goes a long way as well, which is awesome, which just means that the pigment is there. The pencil has pigmentation. Sometimes with a brow product, it's like, like nothing's happening. It's so chalky and it's horrible. This one's super creamy and does go on really smooth. For the powder, I think, like, honestly, I find the powder a little bit more difficult to use. It's not my favorite. I think the powder would be awesome for somebody who has a lot more sparse brows than I do, because it's nice to kind of go in between where you put that pencil to mimic your brow hairs to kind of fill in the gaps. But for me, I don't have too many gaps, so it's hard to tell if it's doing anything. I also find that you have to put quite a bit of pressure with the powder. Like on the back of my hand, for example, I've just been kind of playing it around, and I find like you need, here, I'll do it right here. You need to apply a decent amount of pressure. And for me, once I start putting too much pressure, I feel like I'm kind of losing a little bit of control over where the powder is going. Overall, I think it did a nice job of filling in where the sparseness was, like around the brush. Around the pencil. But I don't know if it's absolutely necessary. So I think for me, the pencil side is definitely where my heart is. I am going to go ahead and quickly do this side and then be back to talk a little bit more about the product. All right, I am back. I have both my brows done, and I just wanted to quickly jump back on and talk a little bit more about the product. So honestly, I'm really liking it. I think it's awesome because we've seen this product at a higher end and now starting to trickle into the drugstores, which is awesome. I feel like this product is really awesome for anyone who has sparse brows because you kind of get best of both worlds. You get your pencil to be able to outline and really mimic those brow hairs, and then you have the powder to be able to go in and really fill in any of those sparse areas. For me, as you saw in the demo, I do have pretty full brows, so I felt like the pencil was a lot more beneficial for me, but I did like the powder. I just felt like sometimes I was like, is it working? But after I was done, I was like, oh wow, okay, my brows definitely look a lot more full and fluffy. So definitely a great product. I love the fact that Maybelline came out with something super versatile. I think it's awesome. The pencil and powder together is supposed to work to make your brows look full, natural looking. And the powder is also supposed to help smooth out your brows. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to mean. Like maybe that's supposed to act as the spoolie to help brush your brows in place. I personally, and that is the only downfall to this product, really do like having a spoolie. So I just went in with an extra spoolie that I had on hand. I usually always have a few laying around, so it's not like they're hard to find, but it is kind of a downfall because you do need that extra set of something, in my opinion. I just can't do my brows without a spoolie. That's just me though, so maybe if you work with the sponge, you'd be able to kind of make it do what you need it to do, but the first step that I ever do with my brows is brush them through with a spoolie. It's like brushing your hair. I don't know, like brushing your brow hair. I don't know. So that's definitely my only downfall, but there are so many pluses. There's 4 shades, as I mentioned. We chatted about 2 out of the 4, soft brown and medium brown, and then there's also blonde and deep brown available as well at all your local drugstores. Speaking of which, let's quickly chat about the price. So it does go for $11.99 Canadian, which I think is a great price for this product because you are getting 2 in 1, which is awesome. So $11.99, and you'd be able to find it at really anywhere. I've seen it at Shoppers and at Rexall, so you should be able to find it at basically any of your local drugstores and online as well. As per usual, I'll link it down below. I'll also link a few other Maybelline brow products that I've reviewed in the past because I think I've reviewed 2 other of their pencils and maybe even a powder before. So I'll put those down below as well for references. Today, myself, I went in with the shade Soft Brown, and I think that was a bang-on match for me. Medium Brown just seemed a touch too warm, and I don't think I have any warmth to my hair. I don't know. I feel like it's just, I mean, right now it's just looking very COVID. I'll leave it at that. But I did go in with Soft Brown and really do like the way that that color worked with my brow hairs. I think it made it look as natural as possible, not too intense, but very full and complete. The hands are really going today. But anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up this review and demo. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down below if you're going to be trying out this product. And if there's any other drugstore products you'd like to see a review from me from, be sure to leave me a comment and I will definitely get to it. But anyways, that's going to wrap this up. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.